Hello, everyone. I'm Gail James. I'll be presenting on Jump Math today. I would be super interested to see what grades you're teaching, if you've used Jump Math before, or if you're brand new to Jump Math. Ooh, so you work with quite a range of students there, Louise. Anybody else? What grades are you teaching this year? Have you ever used Jump Math before? Is it brand new to you? All right. Well, thanks for coming, Andrea. Are you going to be using Jump Math, or are you just window shopping today, just seeing what's available? Oh, new shopping. Perfect. I think this is really neat that your district offers this opportunity. Oh, that's great, Michelle. Why don't I share my screen? Put this up here. Yeah. Oh, that's wild. How do I make that stop? Yeah.
Hi, Gail. Shelley
Hello.
speaking.
Hey,
Uh,
Shelley.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for joining us. Super thrilled to have you here today to share a little bit about Jump Math.
I'm very glad to be here. I appreciate this opportunity. It's great.
Good stuff. So I'm just going to keep my camera on until I introduce you.
Sounds
Um,
great.
do you have a hard start time of 2:30?
Oh, I'm flexible. I don't have anything on my schedule after today. So if you wanted to give people another minute or two to arrive, that's fine. Or if you wanted to start a minute too early, it's all
Okay.
good.
Okay, that sounds good. And you are just here by yourself, correct? Do you have anyone else?
Yes,
Okay, so if people have questions, they can pop them in the chat. I can read them aloud to you at the end. If I can answer them, I'll go ahead and answer them. Otherwise, I'll defer to you at the end.
that sounds great. When I'm presenting, it's not like Zoom, so I can't see the questions as they pop up. So after I stop presenting, I'll also be able to see what the questions are.
Okay, no, that sounds really good. We've got a number of people joined already. Okay, good stuff.
Mhm. There were 63 people at the earlier session. I
Nice,
know. It was
nice.
fantastic. I've been
Yeah,
talking about Jump Math all day. I was in a school actually from your district and did PL this morning with a group of teachers.
right on. I think I know exactly what school you're at too, because they had
Mhm.
asked me and I sent them your name. But
Thank
how
you.
incredible you are at presenting.
Thank you. It was so nice to be with people in three dimensions as
Right?
opposed to a virtual session, which is also great. I'm so appreciative of the technology, but it's nice to be in the same room as everyone.
Totally agree. Totally agree. This is just
Yeah.
so handy, especially for things like this.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
know, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So for people who have recently joined, I would love to know what grade or grades you're teaching, if Jump Math is something you've used before, or if it's brand new to you. And if anyone has come with a specific question, please feel free to put it into the chat. Um, And, we've got a few minutes. I could maybe address any questions right now. Wow, lots of folks for whom this is new. That's fantastic. Rebecca, are you teaching grade 1 and 2 separately, or is it a combined class? Combined. Woohoo! That'll be fun. Keep you on your toes. Oh, another combined class. Oh, a couple more. 3, 2. Okay, so Molly, there are a lot of lessons if you're doing a 3, 2 combined class. Suggestions, I haven't actually taught a combined
Yeah.
class. I've only taught straight classes. And suggestions from educators I've spoken with is you might want to lead with one resource. So if the 2s are fairly strong, you might want to lead with the 3. If the 3s are more struggling and not as strong, you might want to lead with the grade 2 resource and either, take a few steps back for the lower grade or do some extensions for the higher grade. Good, fantastic. Also, we do have what we call essential packs or essential lessons for our grades. We initially put these together for fall of 2020, knowing that schools were going in and out and in person and hybrid and online and so on. And so what our writers have done, they've gone through the table of contents and highlighted the 65% lessons that really teach the most essential concepts for your students to know in order to have enough for next year to go forward. It's mostly patterns and number sense. So you can download those. If you're teaching a combined class, you can download those and sort of put them side by side. And that might give you some direction because unless you're a better teacher than me, it's very challenging to get through 2 entire curricula. So by doing this, you are at least making sure you're hitting those key concepts the students need in order to be successful in the next year.
Dale, is that the cheat sheet that you sent me? Like where
Nope,
they go on? That's different. Okay.
that cheat sheet, although I think I have a link to the Jump Math website, and I've got a link to downloading the support packs. So that would be on the same page.
Okay.
I'll take you there in a few moments, folks, but I talk about green dots. I think it's 2 or 3 green dots below are the essential lessons. When I share my screen with the website, I will point this out to you.
Okay, sounds good because I do have the cheat sheet ready to pop in the chat
Perfect.
for everyone today. And then we have an internal EPD site, it's called, where I'm putting all of the jump information for
Great.
teachers to just, have another spot to find some of it.
Fantastic. Shelley, can you just, when I'm presenting, keep an eye if microphones are left on by mistake. There were a couple of interruptions in the last session, totally accidental, but that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So I'm just going to wait a few more minutes.
Fantastic.
And then I will turn my camera off. And yeah, it looks like everyone's muted. Thanks, everyone, for doing that. Just makes it a little bit easier. Gail's in Calgary, so it's not like we have to worry too much about bandwidth. The last one I was in, we had presenters from the East Coast, so it was a little dicey.
Oh dear. Although my camera froze, apparently, and I didn't notice until I stopped sharing. Then it's like, your camera isn't working. And it was just like, it was a fantastic image.
Right? They're always the best pictures when it freezes.
So I think I'm actually going to turn my camera off once I've done my sort of self-introduction and we're ready to go.
Oh, I can introduce you. Or do you want to introduce yourself? Okay.
No, that's great.
Okay.
If you do it.
Sounds good. Okay, I think I'm gonna just go ahead and get started, and
Perfect.
people can join, and we've got this recorded. So just to be mindful of time, and we will have a hard stop at 3 o'clock, and then people can leave at that point. And if you want to hang around for a couple minutes, Gail, there might be a question or two that people would like to ask at that point. So thank you, Calgary Catholic teachers, for joining us this afternoon. We're super thrilled to have Gail James here from Jump Math. As I said, she's a great support right in Calgary for our school. So that's wonderful. Gail taught in Calgary using Jump Math in grades 4 to 6 for 4 years before moving to work for Jump Math, as she was so impressed with the Jump Math resources and how her students performed. She's pleased to have the opportunity to share a little about the why of Jump Math with all of us. So thanks, Gail. Looking forward to hearing all about Jump Math.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So friends, I've turned off my camera since last time it froze, and I think it was actually more distracting. And I have my slide deck here ready to go. So thank you so much. I am grateful to be the one here helping you to learn about this incredible resource for you and your students. We'll start with a short presentation, and then I'll leave plenty of time for questions at the end. So I'm going to talk about what Jump Math is, what is different about the Jump Math approach, what are the resources, and how I can help answer your specific questions. JUMP is an acronym, and it stands for Junior Undiscovered Math Prodigies. In calling it Junior Undiscovered Math Prodigies, we're trying to underline that everyone in our society can be great at math. JUMP is a nonprofit organization that empowers educators and students with research-informed print and digital resources that instill confidence and spark a lifelong love of math. Pardon me. Our founder, pictured here, Dr. John Mighton, is a mathematician, playwright, and social entrepreneur. John and Jump Math have received I'm sorry, someone has their microphone on. Could they please turn it off? Thanks so much. Have received worldwide recognition for their mission to boost numeracy in elementary and middle school students. His most recent book, this one here, All Things Being Equal, Why Math is the Key to a Better World, was published in January of 2020, and it reflects John's argument that math study is an ideal starting point to break down social inequality and to empower individuals to build a smarter, kinder, more equitable world. Quick number for you here. There are more than 225,000 students worldwide using Jump Math each year, and we have quite a presence in both Spain and Chile, in the US, and then other countries scattered here and there. In John's book, he compares Jump's method to those used by grandmaster chess players for learning and mastering chess. A typical chess player will learn the basic moves and then immediately start playing games, whereas it is through deliberate practice of mini games that grow in complexity that great chess players can truly integrate patterns they'll use to solve larger problems in more complex games. In many of our competitors' programs, you will see that students are expected to engage with the outcomes in full depth right at the beginning of the year before they have fully integrated the smaller prerequisite skills and concepts. Whereas in Jump Math, students follow a more coherent progression in which the complexity of problems grows throughout the year. We need to be sure we are not treating our novice learners as expert learners. Students begin with bridging lessons on prerequisite content, and the depth of knowledge type questions increase in complexity throughout the year. Cognitive science tells us that this is a better way to learn new skills. But we don't just build up complexity, complexity throughout the year in JUMP. We do it in each and every lesson. And this right here, the structured inquiry approach to lesson building, is our greatest differentiator. In the structured inquiry method, math concepts are broken down into manageable concept pieces to limit the strain on working memory. Sometimes we call it extreme scaffolding. So in each lesson, the teacher teaches for up to 3 minutes, but it's often just 1 or 2. And they introduce concept pieces very briefly with thought-provoking questions followed by short discussions. So if you look at a lesson plan, you will often see ask, see, and these are the really critical pieces that the students need to notice and understand in order to develop and build the concept. From there, the students practice. And this is really where you come in. You notice how the students are doing in their practice. You assess. Does someone need some scaffolding? Is someone ready for a bonus question, a little more challenging? Are they ready for the next practice question in the lesson plan? And this is where you are using your expertise. You are deciding what's going to happen in the moment. Maybe you go through 2 or 3 practice questions, you do a bonus question, and then you move on to increase the level incrementally and teach the next piece. And a teacher might go through this cycle 5 to 10 times in a lesson before the goal of the lesson is fully integrated. Jump Math has scores of data proving the efficacy of this approach. Check out the research tab on our website to learn more. This Jump Math students made significant gains in problem solving in year 2 rather, was taken from a 2-year study. We had a control group using the incumbent textbook, and we had some brand new teachers or brand new to Jump Math using Jump Math for the first time. And by the second year, they were far outstripping what the students were achieving with the incumbent resource. So let me take you through our resources. The most important resource is the teacher resource. This is all of your lesson plans, your Blackline Masters, your assessments, your curriculum correlations. Everything is here that you need in order to teach. All of this can be downloaded from our website for free. We're a nonprofit and we are all about supporting teachers. Also, the government of Alberta has partnered with us and they are in the process of uploading all parts of the teacher resource onto the New Learn Alberta website. The digital lesson slides, I'm going to touch on more in a moment, but these are a fantastic aid to teachers. The PowerPoints can be downloaded from the New Learn Alberta website. Again, they're in the process of getting them all uploaded. We also have them available as smarts, and you can purchase your own set for $60. These are the student assessment and practice books, and I find that a lot of people are familiar with these. Please note that this is not a workbook program. It's not, all right, kids, turn to page 12. Let's look at number 1. The assessment and practice books are used at the end of the lesson, or with the younger grades, maybe partway through, and then you do some more teaching, and then you do some more. The goal with these books, though, is that the students, by the time they reach these, they have consolidated the learning, they have reached mastery, and they can work independently. Technically, this is not where the students are still learning. And then we have a website, which is fantastic. I'm going to take you to and show you some of our fantastic pieces. And the last piece is me, your outreach manager. So I'm based in Calgary. My whole job is based around supporting educators in learning about Jump Math and implementing it in their classrooms, in helping them if they need any assistance in understanding how to use the resources, or they've come across a concept that's very tricky for their students. They're working with the combined grades, whatever. I am your point person, and I've put my email address in the chat. All right, so the digital lesson slides are a great tool to make lesson planning and delivery easier for teachers. So they help teachers to follow the structured inquiry model to teach the content, and they decrease their need for prep time, especially when teachers are teaching remotely. They are easy to modify. Literally everything on here can be modified to work with you, and they help teachers to boost engagement with their students. They are a fantastic piece, and they really make your life easier. Our assessment tools for kindergarten through grade 2, there are developmentally appropriate assessment checklists. These checklists contain the complete assessments for these grades. Please note that not everything is assessed on the quizzes and tests offered for the other grades. Everywhere that's blue is an area, these are fillable PDFs, so you can just type in the student name, the date assessed, put a check mark if they got it, put an X or leave it blank if they're not there yet, along with all of the outcomes. Starting in grade 1, we have tests, pardon me, that start in part 2. This is an example of a test. honestly, I think I almost view these as much as tests as practice for what is a test and how do we do a test. And then starting in grade 2, they have both quizzes and tests. So for grade 3, there are 3 assessment tools. Grade 1 and grade 2, there is a very rich calendar time section for you. It's found in the introduction to the teacher resource, and there are many wonderful tips for building in daily mental math fluency. Now, the mental math checklists are a wonderful way to monitor your students' development over the school year. I really love using them as a quick check for students who arrive mid-year. In my experience, students who have strong mental math skills and a deep sense of number will be able to do the work at or above grade level. Whereas those who have very weak mental math skills and a very loose sort of number sense often tend to struggle more. These are fantastic if, say, it's the first week in October and you're like, wow, Lee seems to be really struggling. I wonder what the challenge is. This will help you to identify gaps that you can then focus on to really help your students to have strong mental math and strong number sense. Each teacher resource contains a table of contents for the lesson. The table of contents leads with the jump math lessons, indicated with the dots, whether the lessons are, oh, I've done this out of order, I beg your parsnips. In contrast, the curriculum correlations, I switched this and didn't notice, lead with the curriculum, indicating which jump math lessons correspond to specific expectations. And we have new curriculum correlation documents for K through 6 aligned to the new curriculum available for you. We do recommend that you follow the jump math sequence of lessons as they are intentionally sequenced, and the writers have considered prior knowledge and research in the way that the concepts are developed. We have support packs on our website, which I'm going to take you to in a moment, which show you how to align to the new curriculum and provide the necessary extra lessons. And now the table of contents. The table of contents leads with the jump math lessons, and this is our suggested scope and sequence, the order that you present the lessons in. You start with Unit 1 and you work your way through to the end of Part 2. We strongly recommend avoiding leaps from section to section. This random practice threatens to reduce the efficacy of the material since essential prior knowledge won't be provided at the right time. If you feel it's really important to you to teach the units out of order, then please check each and every lesson has a section on prior knowledge required. Please check that to ensure that you are setting your students up for success. All right, now the website. I'm just going to escape out of this and take you to the website. Our website address is jumpmath.org. So it's our name. If you have an account, you go to log in. If you don't have an account, you also go to log in. Now I have created a video of everything that I'm about to show you. So please don't get frazzled if you feel like I'm going too quickly. You will have a link to this video so you can watch it for yourself. So if you do not have an account, you scroll down and you create a new account here. Accounts are free, very simple to set up. We don't spam you. I do suggest you sign up for our newsletter. This has information on upcoming webinars, on which teachers conventions we'll be at, if we're speaking at teachers convention, if John Mighton is speaking in the area, information on the support packs and anything to do with the new curriculum, information on sales and so on. So I suggest you do sign up for that. Once you have your account, you log in and you will land at what we call the Resource Center. The Resource Center contains all of your educator tools. This piece here contains all of the teacher resources in digital format. They can be downloaded for free. This piece here leads to professional learning that we have available. We are offering a whole suite of free webinars in the next few months, and we would love to have you join us. But the piece I really want to show you right now is underneath these two boxes, we have these green dots with extra pieces that were created after the teacher resources were finished. We have financial literacy lessons. We have coding lessons. You can use those. We have our curriculum support packages, which I'm going to open in just a sec. I mentioned essential lessons for teachers who are teaching a combined grade. If you click on this, then download the table of contents with the essential lessons highlighted for the 2 grades you're teaching. This will maybe help you with your planning. But for the curriculum support packages, I click on this and we have support for Ontario. They have a new curriculum, and for Alberta. So if I go to product, you can now choose the grade that you want to look at. So let's say I want to look at grade 3. I click on this, it's $0. This is a free download. You just download the zip folder and you will open it. And in fact, I just downloaded it for the last one. So I'm going to open this one. It's already downloaded. When you open it, you will see there are 3 pieces. There's a PDF, which is the correlation to the new curriculum.
Yeah, then do.
There is an annotated table of contents, which aligns with the new curriculum, and all of the support lessons are in here. So let's start with the correlation document. And why is it not opening? Come on, my friend. Oh, well. Oh, it's because it's already open from the last session. So the correlation document here, this leads with the curriculum. So we have our organizing idea, guiding question, learning outcome, and knowledge. So here you will see for numbers in base 10, each place has 10 times the value of the place to its right. That's in part 1, unit 2 in these lessons. So the letters represent the strand, NS is number sense. The first digit represents the grade, grade 3. And then the second number represents the lesson numbers. So lesson numbers 1, 2, and 3, and lesson 11 from this unit. The next outcome is, we'll find it in part 1, unit 2, these lessons, but also part 2, unit 15, this lesson. And that is something that Jump Math does, is we spiral, we go back, we revisit concepts, because if students don't use it, they lose it, right? And you keep going, and we are building up. We are constantly building up. You'll notice that this outcome, the value of each place in a number, is the product of the digit and its place value, is not addressed. So what we've done is our writers, who, by the way, are all PhD mathematicians, and they have taught in the classroom, they're incredible humans, have compared the old and the new curriculum. They've looked to see where are gaps in the new curriculum from the old one, and then they've chosen lessons to fill these gaps. Some of the lessons come from the Canadian resources, maybe from a grade 4 teacher resource. Some of them come from our sister resource from the States, which was, I think, developed about 8 years ago. It was developed from the Canadian resource. But sometimes we didn't have a lesson available. So it says not addressed, because you need to know if something has not been, is not included in our teacher resource. After you've gone through that, you'll take a look at the table of contents. So we have an annotated table of contents. We have required lessons, recommended, optional, please don't even try. You do not have time for these. And here, can you see this is highlighted in gray? These are our support lessons. So these are the additional lessons that have been added so that you can feel confident that you are hitting all of your outcomes. For any of you familiar with Jump Math, you'll see there is a new column added, instructions. And here it gives you some extra advice. Teach students that when they say the value of a place, they are multiplying the digit by its place. So that was something that was not supported. And here they're saying this is a fantastic time to talk about it. So let's say you've made 87 with base 10 blocks and you've written down the number 87. You talk about place value, and you can say, so the 7 is in the ones place, and 7 times 1 is 7. The 8 is in the tens place. 8 times 10 is 80. So you can make that connection for your students, include extension 1, include extension 6, and so on. I want to go down to where we have some extra lessons. Here we go. So this is G3-8, geometry, grade 3, lesson 8, more quadrilaterals. We need to teach our students about regular and irregular polygons, parallel and perpendicular sides, and so on. So we've taken a grade 4 lesson, which in the previous curriculum we would have taught in grade 4, and we've popped it in here because here is a logical spot for this lesson to go. So where are the extra lessons? If we go back to here, you will see grade 3 support lessons. If I click on this folder, woo, there have been a lot of new lessons. I will tell you that grade 3, there's a lot to teach for this year. So we were just looking at G4-5, so geometry, grade 4, lesson 5. Let's open this folder. You will see here's your lesson plan, your PowerPoint and your smart slides, depending on which system you're using, any associated Blackline Masters, and the assessment and practice book. So I realize it's a little clunky. It's not all in one place. We simply did not have time to do that, hence these support packages. But if you download these, if you've got a hard copy, a paper copy, you can actually go through and print out all of these lessons, hole punch them, and put them into your teacher resource. If you are just using the digital teacher resource, make sure that you take this whole support package and put it in with that. And I would very strongly recommend that you print out your curriculum correlation document and your table of contents and have it on your desk in a folder so you can always check that piece. You know exactly what you're doing. All right, let's go back to the PowerPoint. I've got a couple more slides. So getting ready to teach. Download the new curriculum support packs, download the introduction to the first 2 units, read the introduction. So our introduction is not marketing. Our introduction is actually designed for teachers, and there's great information on mental math, on a wonderful calendar time section, on number talks. Really want to recommend that you take a look at this. Take special note of these, of the bonus questions, and then start teaching math on day 1. I know some teachers really like to spend 2 or 3 weeks just getting those classroom routines down and so on. And absolutely, but it's a heavy year with new curriculum. I strongly suggest that on day 1, and this is what I always did, day 1, first math period, first lesson, boom, we did it. This is your lesson count with the new curriculum. So for grade 1, you have 135 lessons plus 10 recommended ones. Grade 2, you have 141 plus 9 recommended. Grade 3, you have 151 required lessons plus 12 more. I will say that in grade 3, I know in geometry, there's, I think, a lesson on circles and one on triangles and one on squares and one on rectangles, which worked well with the old curriculum. I would strongly suggest that you maybe combine 2 of those. So you do circles and triangles one day, squares and rectangles another day. And that, my friends, is pretty well it. That's really what I wanted to show you for today.
Awesome. Thanks, Gail. That was fantastic. Did we lose Gail? We might have lost Gail. Hang on, let me just see.
I apologize, everyone.
There you are.
Yes, I tried to stop sharing and instead I left the meeting and I was like, no,
That's what I
that's
thought.
not what I meant to do. I'm so embarrassed and so sorry, folks.
No,
All
it's all
right,
good.
so are there questions that I can address?
Yes, yes, there are. Okay, I'm just going to scroll through. There was a question regarding combined grades. So, with such a large consumer base and students using the program, are there specific supports for combined grades?
Unfortunately, we don't have like a combined grade guide. On our website, we do have a webinar that one of my colleagues recorded, and she spent her entire teaching career working with combined grades. So there is a webinar that is accessible to anyone, and I think it says it's called Teaching Combined Classes. If you click on the professional learning section, when you get into the teacher resources, you will see them. I think I've also put a link to them on that document that that has been shared with you.
Yes, it was on there.
Okay.
A question just regarding French. I know when we spoke in June, you were translating. Is that good to go on New Learn Alberta?
No, but it's coming. It's
Okay.
coming. We hired 2 firms, 2 translation firms in the spring to translate everything. And unlike our original translation, which was simply the cahier, This is translating the entire teacher resource. So my understanding is that kindergarten and grade 1 are ready to go digitally. So you'll be able to download those. Grade 2 and 3 are coming because that's sort of the main piece that we need to get done first. And I think the kindergarten, which we call maternelle, assessment and practice books part 1 are ready. The digital lesson slides are coming. They had some issues with translating them because some of the images was just like an entire image and there was English in it. So our team has to go through and check for English images. And if there are any, switch them out for French. The smart slides will be ready first, and then the PowerPoints are created from those. So they are coming. They are absolutely working as fast as they can. So folks, it's coming. If you check on the Jump Math website, as soon as things are ready, they will be up there. And as soon as we have it ready for the Alberta government, we will share it with them so they can put it on the New Learn Alberta website.
Awesome. Thanks, Gail. So this next one is not a question, but maybe just some guidance to provide for a teacher. So the comment is, my administrator says over and over that Jump Math is only geared towards assessment. And this teacher goes on to say, I have used the program before, and this is clearly not the case. So any guidance you could provide for that teacher to make a case with their administrator if the teacher would like to use the resource?
For sure. And Rebecca, I'm really glad to hear that you have found that this is a good resource for you. So Jump Math is all about this structured inquiry. And what we mean when we say structured inquiry is we do a lot of Socratic questioning. So we're asking the students, hey, what about this? And we're really drawing attention to what we want them to notice, but we're not directly saying this, but it's more, have you noticed this? Or what do you see? And then the students come to the conclusion themselves. We really treat our learners as novice learners at the beginning of the year. And so you will see that the complexity grows over the year. And I have, it's so fun because whenever I do a PL, I ask the teachers, can you put on sticky notes things that you have noticed, questions, what you like, areas you've struggled with. And something that always comes up is there's not enough problem solving. And what I say to teachers who say that is, have you used the extensions? Every lesson, you want to be doing 1 or 2 extensions at the end of the lesson. And if you download a lesson plan, you'll see what I mean. This is where the students are really demonstrating that higher order thinking. They're making connections to what they've learned in the lesson to other strands. There is a lot of problem solving built into Jump Math. I have other students say there are no activities, and I'm always astonished because literally, well, maybe not literally, almost every lesson comes with at least 1 activity. And these are fun. They're a great way to break up the flow of the class so kids can get up, move, work with other students, do an activity. They can talk. And yet these activities are very thoughtfully and carefully designed to really build those concepts and skills that they've been working on that lesson. So no, we're not just about assessment, although we have wonderful assessment. It's not just those assessment pieces I showed you. There is assessment throughout that entire lesson. That flow chart that I showed you. So you teach for a bit and then the students practice. There is constant formative assessment going on. And a really important piece, oh, I still have 2 minutes, is we want every student to be doing the practice every time. We want to interrupt that who knows the answer. Put your hand down. We want students to use whiteboards. We want them to use base 10 blocks. We want them to use connecting cubes, tangram pieces, pattern blocks, whatever. Every student practicing every time. And if you want to say, all right, who has a strategy? Don't raise your hand. They put their fist at their chest, and when they have an answer or a strategy, they put their thumb up. If you've got some real whippersnappers who get to the answer very quickly, fantastic. Who can think of another strategy? There, you've got your firecrackers busy. giving your other students a little bit more time to think of an answer or of a strategy. So that is really vitally important. Jump Math in Spanish. So we don't have publications in Spanish available here in Canada. You can contact the Chilean school, and I know that I've shared the details with Calgary Catholic, and I have passed on a digital version of the Spanish resource to someone who works in the language section. I can't remember their name
Probably
offhand,
Joan. Joan?
but quite
It could be.
likely
Okay, I'll
for
check.
them to evaluate and to maybe share with some teachers just to get some feedback if this is a resource that they think they would like to bring in. But right now, we don't print the Spanish resources in Canada. Oh my goodness, it's exactly 3 p.m. If anyone wants to stay on and ask some more questions, I'm more than happy to stay. I don't know if that's okay with you, Shelley.
Yeah, that's totally fine. And just a huge thank you, Gail, for sharing with us today. And I just want to pass on a big thanks to all of you teachers who have joined us and administrators this afternoon. Truly appreciate your time to take a look at these resources a little bit deeper and figure out which is the best fit for you and your students. So I'll hang on the call. And teachers, if you would like to go, that's completely fine. Maria, I'm going to chat with Joan and then take a look a little bit more at the Spanish resource if Joan has it. If not, Gail, I'll be bugging you for it, and then I can compare that with the new outcomes.
And that's one of the things, that's a great question about the curriculum. It doesn't align exactly. So you would have to look through. I mean, it is a translation of our resources. It's a translation of the American resources, I believe. So the core curriculum that they use in the US, I believe that was closer to what they were using in Spain and Chile, where they translated. So I would suggest that having your experts have a look at it and decide if it's something that would work for you, because I can't actually talk to them. You're welcome. Thank you everyone so much for coming. And again, if you have any questions in the next days or months, please feel free to contact me. This is my job, and I love chatting with teachers.
Mhm. Good stuff. I'm just going to put your email again in the chat.
Great.
And teachers, you can always reach out to me and I can certainly put you in touch with Gail for whatever questions you might have. Oh, okay. Good to know, Maria. Thank you for clarifying. Joan passed it on to you. Okay, good stuff. And Maria, just another note, the government has really changed kind of requirements around resources. So teachers have a lot of professional autonomy to use whatever resource that you would like to use as long as you can meet an outcome with it.
And I just saw your question. So you can go to the New Learn Alberta website and see what you can download there. I haven't been there since Friday. And at that point, I could not find the entire resource. I could only find certain sections, except grade 1 when I clicked on a lesson and it downloaded the whole thing. So if you would like to get some resources right now, you can go to our website, jumpmath.org, create your educator account, and then you can go in. We have it up literally lesson by lesson. So it'll take a few clicks just to download all those PDFs, but you can certainly